Happy day to you students, teachers, and history geeks. Thanks for visiting Nutshelled History, where we hit the key points, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we try to have a little fun along the way. Let's get going and look at Spanish colonization in the Americas, New Spain. There's a link to a fill-in-the-blank worksheet in the description down below. Please forgive any mispronunciations. Pronouncing things correctly is not my goated talent. Okay, let's go. In the 1500s, Spanish soldier adventurers called conquistadors set out to explore and conquer new lands. In 1519, Hernán Cortés set sail from Mexico with about 600 soldiers in search of gold. When he arrived, he encountered the Aztec Empire, ruled by Montezuma. At first, things were relatively cordial, but they're conquistadors. They want to conquist. And many American Indians who had earlier been conquered by the Aztec joined Cortés as he marched on the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan, and he took Montezuma prisoner. The Aztec rebelled, forcing the Spaniards out. Aided by enemies of the Aztec, Cortés returned and destroyed Tenochtitlan. The Aztec Empire fell. Another conquistador, Francisco Pizarro, set his sights on the Incan Empire down in the South America Andes. In 1532, Pizarro captured the Incan ruler Atahualpa and later executed. That's not nice. By 1535, Pizarro controlled much of the Incan Empire. Several factors helped the Spanish soldiers defeat much larger American Indian armies. The Spanish had steel armor and better weapons, including guns. The Spaniards also rode horses, which American Indians had never seen. Imagine being an Incan and you see dudes made of metal on top of massive steeds when you've only ever seen anything as big as a llama. That'd freak anybody out. In addition, the American Indians did not fight as hard as they might have because they were not sure who the Spaniards were. Many Indians also died from European diseases, and the Incas had a civil war before Pizarro even got there. Moving north, conquistadors explored the Spanish borderlands, which spanned the present-day southern United States from Florida to California. In 1513, Juan Ponce de Leon traveled through parts of Florida. In 1528, a few survivors of a failed expedition led by Panfilo Narvaez landed on an island in present-day Texas and were enslaved by American Indians. Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca, an African named Estevanico, and two others escaped years later. If you know even a little Spanish, you may have noticed the first guy's name, Cow's Head. Wow, no cap. They finally found their way to a town in Mexico in 1536. From 1539 to 1542, explorer Hernando de Soto searched the southeast for gold. In 1542, he died in Louisiana, having found the Mississippi River, but no gold. Fail. The conquistador Francisco Coronado searched for the legendary 7 cities of gold on an expedition to the southwestern borderlands in 1540. He also found no gold. Double fail. At first, Spain let the conquistadors govern the lands they had conquered. While they were good at conquering, they sucked at governing. So, Spain set up a formal system to rule its new colonies. The laws of the Indies established 3 kinds of settlements: pueblos, presidios, and missions. Pueblos were towns that were centers of farming and trade. Presidios housed soldiers. Missions were settlements run by Catholic priests and friars whose goal was to convert Indians to Christianity. Missions gradually spread across the Spanish borderlands. The laws of the Indies also established a rigid social system. It was all about your blood and birthplace. At the top of the social hierarchy were peninsulares, or colonists born in Spain with 100% Spanish blood. They held the highest jobs in the church and the government. Colonists born in America to Spanish parents were Creoles. Creoles were wealthy and well-educated. They owned farms and ranches, taught at universities, and practiced law. People of mixed Spanish and Indian parentage were mestizos. They worked on farms and ranches or in cities as carpenters, tailors, or other jobs. They became the largest class of colonial society. The lowest class in the colonies was the Indians. Indians were kept in poverty for hundreds of years. Land grants called encomiendas let settlers demand labor or taxes from American Indians in exchange for quote-unquote protection. Indians were also forced to work in gold and silver mines under harsh conditions. Many died. That sure doesn't sound like protection to me. As the American Indian death toll rose, Some Spanish colonists, including priest Bartolomé de las Casas, looked to Africa for new forced laborers. Some scholars estimate that Europeans transported more than 10 million enslaved Africans across the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas between the 1500s and the 1800s. I hate to end this on a downer, so let's do recap time instead. Way back in the 1500s, conquistadors conquisted. The Aztec Empire was no more, and the area eventually became Mexico City. They went on exploring north, looking for the fabled cities of gold. They weren't him. The conquistadors sucked at governing, so Spain said trust the system and issued the laws of the Indies, which established three kinds of settlements: pueblos, presidios, and missions. They had a weird social system based on your blood and birthplace. The Indians got it worst at first. They were forced into the encomienda system and forced to work in the mines. Lots of them died, so the Spanish colonists looked to Africa for new slaves to replace them. I still ended it on another downer, but that is Spanish colonization nutshell. Thanks for visiting Nutshelled History. Don't forget to go nuts on that like button and subscribe button. Do you think I'm nuts? Let us know in the comments down below.